maybe one ear is down versus the other. It doesn't really matter what ear is down. Or you might even have the hands underneath you to kind of have like a little pillow underneath the head. Whatever feels nice for right now. And start focusing in on your inhales and your exhales. Feeling as that breath moves in through the nose, as it fills the chest and the belly. And then as it reverses from the belly, chest, and nose. Feeling that pressure against the mat. And as it releases, as you continue with this breath, maybe you set an intention for tonight's practice. It might be something you're specifically working on. Or maybe something as simple as just being connected with this present moment. Being connected with the breath. And just seeing where you flow, where you move, and what happens. Releasing your intention, whatever way feels most natural. So that might be reaching those arms out nice and long or finding little wiggles side to side. With our next breath, you're going to keep that pillow underneath the head, so those hands stacked upon each other. And we're going to bend that right knee. So you're bringing that right knee up at a 90-degree angle, flexing that right foot. Letting that left ear come down onto the mat. Breathing into that right hip. Nice big inhales and exhales. Noticing the tight spaces here. And noticing anything that might start come up. And just breathing through it. Beginning to even notice the longer you're here, the longer you focus in on that breath, the ease being brought into the body, the ease being brought into the breath, and the softening of the muscles as they find a little bit of relaxation in the pose. Just 2 more breaths. And then let's guide that right leg back to meet the left. So both of those legs are nice and long behind you. You might even adjust the head so that forehead is down on the mat, or maybe that chin is on the hands. And then you're going to shift that weight on over towards that right hip to let that left leg come up and create that 90-degree angle, keeping that flex in that left foot. And start breathing into this opposite hip now. Maybe that right side of the head comes down. Noticing the difference between the sides. Continuing to focus in on that breath, on those inhales and those exhales. the rising and the falling of the belly and of the chest. Just a few more breaths here. With that next breath, maybe the gaze comes to center if it was off to the side. Let that left leg come to meet the right. So both of those legs are nice and long. Just relaxing on that belly. And then we're gonna open up those hands. So those hands are planted underneath the shoulders. Let's push away from the ground. Hips will go back into your child's pose. So sinking on back. You might come up onto those fingertips. Keeping connected with that breath. You might even start bringing that breath into the shoulders. Shaking the head side to side. And then begin to find that stillness as you are finding that head side to side. Rolling on up into your tabletop with that next breath. Let's let that heart shine forward, tailbone go up. Push that ground away, curve the spine. Moving through your cat-cow flow. Allowing that breath to guide you. Exploring even finding some movement side to side, whether it's the body or the gaze. Just allowing any movements that the body is craving to come on in. Welcoming in those shapes as it connects with the breath. And then even yourself out, meeting in that neutral tabletop. Let's walk those hands towards the knees. We're gonna lift up that torso. Let the hips be nice and high. You have a little 90-degree angle happening back here. And I want you to shift that weight on over towards that left leg. It's nice and strong, nice and sturdy. That right leg starts becoming light. So again, you're shifting that weight for that right leg to become light, stepping that foot on forward. Let's inhale those arms on up with that next breath. Reaching up high, letting that heart shine forward, feeling that stretch in that whole front of the body. Exhale those hands on down, frame that foot. Hips are going on back as the right toes reach up high. Drag that right heel for me. Back into that right foot. Frame that foot. Left hand stays planted, right arm peeling open. Pushing with that left hand to lift that torso on up. Left hand reaching for the front as that right hand reaches for the back as we twist here. Right hand falls down onto that left leg. Left Release that right hand to come back to center or reaching up high with both of those arms. Exhale those hands down to heart center. Nice and strong still with that left leg. It's nice and sturdy. Right heel will lift. You're stepping that right foot back to meet the left. Might get a little wobbly, a little unbalanced, and that's okay. We're gonna let those hands come back down into our tabletop, cat cow. Move at your breath pace. Even out. Finding that neutral tabletop. Let the spine be long. Hips will go back with that next breath. Child's pose. Second time in this child's pose, you might explore with the spacing of the legs, maybe the hands. Find a different placement than last time. Just noticing any small changes. Next breath rolls us up into our tabletop. Feel that stability. Let yourself become grounded with that earth underneath you. Walking those hands back towards the knees and lifting up that torso. We're nice and high here. Strengthen that right leg. Tilt it on over. It's going to hold you balanced and steady. Left leg starts becoming nice and light. Let's step it forward. Inhale those arms on up. Still allowing that heart to shine forward and feeling that whole stretch on that front side of the body. Exhale those hands on down. Frame that foot. Hips are going on back. Left toes up towards the sky. Drag that left heel. Coming back into that left foot, let's frame it. Right hand stays planted down, left arm peeling open. Pushing with that right hand to lift that torso on up. Right hand reaching for the front, left hand reaching for the back. Feeling the twisting of the spine here. Left hand comes down onto that right leg, right hand painting the sky. Gently release that left hand. Let both of those hands come back up. Exhale those hands on down, framing that foot. This time you're going to tuck the back toes under, lift that back leg. We're stepping that right foot up to meet the left, top of the mat. There might be a big bend in the knees to let that belly rest on the tops of the legs. Maybe the legs are a little straighter. You're just letting that torso become heavy as gravity pulls you on down. Maybe even shaking the head yes and no. Begin to find stillness. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling on over those legs. Inhale all the way up to standing. Reach up high. Exhale those hands down to heart center. We're going to let those hands fall next to you. Finding our mountain pose. So toes are nice and wide. Letting that earth underneath you hold you steady. Root you down. Shoulders are away from the ears. Hands are open. The eyes might be soft or closed. Focusing in with the breath, with those inhales and those exhales. Seeing where the body's at right now, where the breath is at right now. Taking these these moments to connect. And next breath, let's inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, swan diving on over those legs. Inhale, come up halfway. Plant the hands down. We're stepping that left foot back. Low runner's lunge. Let that left hip drop down so you can get that big old stretch on that whole front side of that left leg. The knee, the right knee might even go a little bit over the ankle, and that's okay. You're feeling that stretch right now. Left knee drops down. Untuck those toes. Left hand down, right hand up. Pushing that left hand up, bringing that torso up. Left hand reaching for the front, right hand to the back. And then exhale to release that right hand, both of those hands reaching up high. Exhale those hands on down, frame the foot, let the hips go on back. Right toes up towards the sky. Come back into that right foot, framing that foot. Tuck the back toes under, lift that back leg. You're gonna walk that right hand inside of that right foot, and then keep walking it on over towards the left side, long side of the mat. Let the left toes face the long side of the mat, so they're facing that long side of the mat. Bend that left knee, right toes up towards the sky. We just found our Skandasana here. So just like we were when we were forward, we're opening out now to the side, finding a different shape, even though they're kind of the same shapes in a way. You're kind of seeing how they're all connected here, how they all kind of make one. Hands might even come up from the mat. Maybe you try one hand, maybe you try both hands. The hands are up, let them come down. We're coming back into that right foot, so find that bend in that right knee. Walk those hands nice and low. Framing that right foot. Left toes are facing the front as well now. Left knee drops on down. Left hand drops on down. Right foot will step on back. We're in a modified side plank. So that left knee is down. Right leg is out. Right arm is up. Breathe. That right foot still down. We're going to lift that torso on up. Right hand comes down onto that right leg. Left arm reaches up and forward. Letting that space be on that whole left side of the body. As you exhale, you're pushing those hips back towards the back of the room. Let those hands reach for the front in a one-legged child's pose. One-legged child pose does not work for you. I want you to bring that right knee in and find that traditional child's pose instead. Possibly staying up on those fingertips, finding a roundness in the back. Right, let's come forward into this like variation of a tabletop. So let's call it sexy leg tabletop, right? That right leg is out. When my dog does this, I call it a sexy leg. So we'll call it sexy leg tabletop. All right, let's walk those hands on over towards the left side. Left knee's facing the front. right leg nice and long. Let it stay lifted. Bend that right knee, that right foot is facing up towards the sky. Breathe. Our next breath, we're bringing that right knee to the nose and possibly stepping that foot in between those hands. If we need to lift up a little higher, go ahead and lift up a little higher. Framing that foot. Tuck the back toes under, lift that back leg. Stepping that left foot up to meet the right. Folding on over those legs. Letting that body, that torso become heavy. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold over. Inhale all the way up to standing, reaching up high. Exhale those hands down to heart center. Let them fall down towards the side. Welcoming in that mountain pose once more. Allowing the toes to spread, the weight in the feet to become even. And feeling as the muscles throughout the body soften here. They're not only softening, but they're becoming strong, they're becoming sturdy. Finding that balance in between. Just a few more breaths here. Taking that scan of the body. Connecting with that breath, connecting with that heart. Next breath, reaching those arms up overhead, reach up high. Exhale, swan diving on over those legs. Inhale, come up halfway. Planting those hands. This time that right foot is stepping on back. So we can find the lunge on this opposite side. Again, that left knee might come a little bit in front of that ankle so you can really feel that stretch on that whole right side. It's going to cause that right side to kind of fall down here. Breathe. Okay, right knee drops on down. Untuck those toes. Right hand down, left arm heels open. Letting that heart shine even though we're twisting here. Push that right hand into the ground to lift that torso on up. In one fluid motion, left hand comes down onto that right leg, right hand faces the sky. Keep focusing in on that breath. Those inhales and those exhales. Release that left hand, reach it up high. Maybe a little back bend even here as the back is nice and warm. Exhaling those hands on down, framing the foot. Let's let the hips go on back. Left toes up towards the sky. Drag that left heel. Back into that left foot with that next breath. Tucking the back toes under, lifting that back leg. Left hand coming inside of that left foot. to heart center. You can keep them down, or maybe you put one at a time. Knowing each side's a little different. It'll look different from each side, not only with the knees, but with shape. It's okay. That's part of the beauty of flowing here. Few more breaths. All right, let's walk those hands on over towards that left foot. Everything's facing forward. So all 10 toes are facing the front of the room. Right knee taps on down, untucking those toes. Right hand is also coming down. You're pushing that left foot on back to find this modified side plank. Letting the movement nice and smooth here. Feeling as you open up, as you shine out. Let's push with that right hand. Lift that torso on up. Left foot is sealed down. Let those arms be nice and long. Left hand falling onto that left leg. Right arm is reaching up and over. Allowing that whole right side of the body to open up here. To connect with that breath. Exhaling those hips on back. Right arm is swooping forward. Left hand will reach on forward into this one-legged child's pose. Again, if this side doesn't work, if it's a little too much on the knees or the hips, go ahead and bring that left knee in to find that child's pose instead. If you're able to sink a little deeper with each breath, to find a little bit more ease, a little bit more stillness. Let them fall to the side, settling into our mountain pose another time. So this is a few times here in this mountain pose. I want you to notice any differences. Pay attention to the breath. Feeling the spaces within the body. Are we still holding on to any extra tension, any extra effort? And if so, we breathe into that space. And as we exhale, we let it go. Inhale, notice. Exhale, release. Allowing the body to feel lighter, to feel more open. Inhale those arms up overhead with that next breath. Grab a hold of that left wrist, side bend to the right. Coming back to center, grab a hold of that right wrist, side bend to the left. Back to center, reach up high. Exhale those hands down to heart center. We're gonna find that strength now in that right leg. That right leg is nice and sturdy. That left foot becomes nice and light. Lift up that heel. And then let it push on back. So maybe this push on back is a little more exaggerated. You might bend that knee and feel as the muscles really move through to push that left leg on back. Maybe you're like, nope, I'm just gonna step it on back. That's okay. We're finding that bend in that right knee. Staying up on all of that left foot. Inhale those arms on up. So just like we were when we were grounded, we're adding a little extra now. Challenging our balance a little bit more. Noticing here these balancing postures, how we have to be connected to this present moment. Be connected with the breath in order to find a little bit more stability. Our next breath, we open up into a warrior two. So seal that left foot on down. Keeping that bend in that right knee. Those arms are opening out. Let that heart shine. Feel as everything is pulling in towards the center, but you're also shining out at the same time. Soft gaze over those front fingers. Put that right palm up towards the sky. Let's exalt it. Left hand down, right arm up. Next breath, finding that side angle, right arm onto that right leg, left arm reaches up and over. Feeling that lengthening on that whole left side of the body here. Next breath, exalt. Next breath, side angle. So might start noticing where we're going. So we're flowing back and forth, nice and softly, nice and slowly between this exalted warrior and this side angle. You might start finding a little playfulness in the motions as well if you'd like, kind of challenging yourself if you want. Or maybe you really let the posture be nice and slow, nice and graceful, almost like you're painting a picture. If you're using watercolors on a canvas, letting those hands, those fingers be those brushes. As you paint in this space. You might even close you flow side to side. Few more breaths here. Evening yourself out. Meeting in your warrior two. Let's straighten that right leg a little bit of a micro bend still in there. Those arms are nice and long. Let that right hand reach for the front. Left hip is pushing back. Falling on down into your triangle. Gaze can be up or down, or whatever feels best for the neck. But you're stacking the shoulders here. Feeling that stretch in that left side body yet again. And if you want a little rotation, a little movement here, you might play with letting that left hand fall down towards that right leg and opening back up, just like a page in a book. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Or if that breath doesn't work for you, you can always switch it, right? Just a few more breaths here. If you're flowing, I want you to embrace that stillness. We're all lifting that torso back up. Left toes are facing the back of the room. Angle the right toes in. Keep the legs nice and straight though. And this time, we're finding triangle on this opposite side. So left hand will come down, right hand on up. And this triangle is just for a breath because we're gonna bend that left knee. Let that left hand come in front of that left foot, or maybe a pillow or a block or a book, water bottle. That right leg will rise, half moon. Bend that left knee, let that right foot come down. Lift up that left arm. Both of those arms are reaching high. The legs are nice and straight. Let the toes face out. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, lift it up, straighten everything up. Exhale, back down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale it down. We're closing up those arms so those hands are coming to heart center. Straighten up those legs. Left foot is becoming nice and light. It's coming back to meet the right, top of the mat. Let those hands fall on down. Settling back into our mountain pose, just for a few breaths. Feeling any echoes in the body from the movements it just went through. Noticing that echo. Connecting with that breath, connecting with that heart. Next breath, inhale those arms up high. Exhale them down to heart center. Left leg is nice and strong, nice and sturdy. Right foot becomes nice and light. Again, you can move slowly as you step that right foot on back. Or maybe you move a little quicker. So we're all meeting in our crescent, having that bend in that left knee. That right heel is lifted. Inhale those arms up. Nice and strong here. Breathe. and feeling that courage of being here in this present moment, of being here on your mat, of taking the time to show up. Feel that strength. Let's open up into our warrior two, sealing that right foot on down. Bend in that left knee still, soft gaze over those left fingers. Allowing the body to pull in as you're also shining out. Nice and strong here. We're building our little mini flow nice and slowly so we can feel the shapes. Flip that left palm up towards the sky, exhale that warrior. So we're feeling these shapes here, almost like we're exaggerating or finding the extreme, right? Staying in that stillness to see what happens. Next breath, side angle. To eventually be able to find almost that in between. To find the middle as we flow back and forth and make it almost like a meditation. Losing ourselves in our breath, in our movement. But building the foundation here, let's flip it again. Back into that side angle. Allowing the body and the breath to guide you as you flow now, side to side. Inviting any playfulness that might happen within the shape, within this gray zone, within this blending. Right, we're painting here, our beautiful canvas with our hands, with our arms. As we paint, we're blending the colors, we're blending the shapes together. So it can create one big masterpiece, one big painting. The eyes might even begin to close as you move side to side, fully trusting the body and the breath. Just a few more breaths, a few more movements. Even yourself out. Being in that warrior two. I know that leg feeling a little tired, but it's nice and strong. It's holding you steady. Let's straighten that left leg, a little bit of a micro bend. Reach that left hand towards the front, right hip is pushing back. Let that hand fall as that right arm reaches up high. Option of flowing, closing that arm and opening it up. Allowing that breath to guide you. Trusting the body, trusting the breath, trusting this present moment. Inviting some stillness now into the body. Bending that left knee, lifting that torso on up, straighten up those arms, keeping those legs straight. We're switching those feet, so angling the left toes, right toes are facing the back of the room. Reach that right hand forward, left hip is pushing back. Find that triangle just to create that foundation that we're looking for. And then bend that right knee, let that right hand come in front of that foot, lift that left leg on up. Bend that right knee, left toes are coming down, we're opening up into our goddess squat. This time we're letting that right arm cross on top of the left, and then the palms will touch. If not, grab a hold of opposite shoulders, nice big hug. I want you to inhale up, exhale, folding on in. Sometimes the toes like to face inward as the heels kind of push back if that feels better for the body. So more of a wide-legged stance, please do so. And then find a little sway side to side. You might even bend the knees a bit as you sway side to side. Allowing the arms to be like a trunk. Or if you have the arms in this hug position, right, you're grabbing a hold of opposite shoulders instead. Almost like you're in a little dancing, right? Pretend you're dancing with somebody. Swaying side to side. I guess it's kind of like a slow dance going on. All right, slow it down. To find that stillness, release those hands. Left hand plants down in front of that gaze. Let that right arm reach up high. Try to keep those hips level. That right hip is going to want to reach up high. Bring that right hip down. Let's switch it out. Right hand will come down to replace that left hand. Left arm reaches up high. Again, noticing that left hip, keeping it guided down. Left hand falls down. Bend those knees. Inhale, lift that torso line up. Again, the toes might face out. To find that bend in the knees, to find that squat. Let the arms open once more. This time that right arm comes on top of the left. Or grab a hold of those shoulders. Breathe. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, we fold. Again, the toes might angle in as you fold on in. Start finding that elephant sway side to side. Or that slow dance. Let that body feel heavy. Slow it down. Release the bind. So if the toes aren't already angled in, angle them in. And then we're gonna walk those hands. They're gonna be right in front of the face. And then you're gonna walk them behind. So those fingers are gonna reach for the back of the room or the opposite side of the room. But the fingers are facing away. So where you can see the heel of the hand. And just see how this feels here. Keeping that head nice and heavy. Keeping the torso heavy. All right, let's walk those hands back towards that gaze. Those fingers are facing back forward. And then we're gonna walk those hands on over towards that left foot. Left toes are facing the front of the room. Right toes are facing the front of the room. Step that left foot back to meet the right, high plank. Let's let those knees come down, those hips will go back. Child's pose. Settling into your child's pose here. The knees might be open nice and wide, they might be a little closer. Playing with that hand, with the hands, the shape of the hand. So instead of reaching forward, maybe the hands come to prayer. You bend those elbows, thumbs going towards the nape of the neck. Or they might be reaching back towards the ankles, towards the feet. Let's allow those hands to come back forward if they aren't already there. Walk those hands close in towards the knees to bring that torso up. We're swinging those legs around and forward. Let them become nice and long. Let yourself become adjusted on the mat where you can fall on back. So find that perfect distance. Allow the spine to be nice and long. Crown of the head up towards the sky. Reach those hands towards those flexed toes. Tuck that chin in just a hair. Start making your way down onto your back. Keep those heels grounded here. And then once those shoulders touch down, I want you to reach those hands back for the back of the room. Let the toes reach for the front. Nice big body stretch here. Next breath, we'll bring those knees in towards the chest. Nice big hug. A little bit of movement side to side. Opening up those arms now, goal poster T. Allow the knees to fall to the right as the gaze falls to the left. Feeling this twist in the spine, feeling the shoulders become heavy. Allowing the gaze to come back to center, the knees will come back to center. And then letting the knees fall to the left as the gaze falls to the right. Allowing yourself to move slowly. Feeling the heaviness of the shoulders, the slowing of the breath. The gaze will come back to center. The knees will come back to center. Finding any final movements now that the body's needing, that the body's craving in order to feel the practice complete. So maybe there's certain wiggles, they might have a name, maybe there's no name attached. So allowing the body to find these final movements it's needing in order to feel the practice complete. And then when ready, and not a moment sooner, allowing the body to become heavy upon the mat. As the body lengthens out, the arms falling next to you. Feeling that whole body become heavy as it softens into the mat. Closing the eyes or keeping them soft here. Inviting this settling, this stillness. Just for a few breaths. Now beginning to allow the awareness to come back into the room, back into the breath. As you invite those gentle movements to enter the body, the wiggles of the fingers and the toes. Then allowing the body to lengthen long once more. And bringing the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself one last big hug. Allowing yourself to fall gently either to the right or the left side. To take a few moments here to come back to that intention that you set in the beginning of class. And when ready, gently pushing yourself up to a comfortable seated position, keeping the eyes closed or soft. Our next inhale together, we're reaching those arms up high. And as we exhale together, letting those hands come down to heart center. As we bow our head in gratitude. Grateful for this day, for this breath, for this beautiful life that we're given. Thank you to each of you for sharing your practice with me. The light, the love, and the spirit in me humbly bows to the light, the love, and spirit in each of you. Namaste.